Thanks for tuning in to IPO Adda on Bloomberg Quint with me, my colleagues Saloni and Yatin, and we are in conversation with the top management of GTPL. They need no introduction. Anybody who's watched media would probably have their cable connections if you are a subscriber sitting in Gujarat or Kolkata or a couple of other places as well. Now, in fact, outside of Mumbai as well. The question though to the managements from our side would be whether it's a great time for investors to subscribe to their IPO, and how would the progress for the company look like going ahead. The top management with us, Mr. Anirudhsinh, Jadeja, and Mr. Pankaj, Head Investor Relations, joining as well. Thank you so much both of you for joining in. Mr. Jadeja, people have a brief flavor about what your company is. Would you want to add to that? What is it that you're looking to do as a company for the next 3 or 4, 5 years?
See, if you see the cable side, आप हमारा track record देखेंगे. So we are making year and year profit. If you see our CAGR and revenue side is close to around 24%, and EBITDA side, if you see the CAGR is close to around 40%.
This is for the last 3 years.
Last 4, 5 years.
Last 4, 5 years. Okay.
And the same is we'll try to replicate in coming years also, and because our 90% revenue is coming right now, it's cable, and 10% is coming broadband. Same will implicate because we already seeded 7.7 million subscribers in cable TV sites.
Okay.
So yes, हम वो try करेंगे कि हम broadband में भी उसको leverage कर पाए.
So let's just break this down, Mr. Jadeja. कि आपका growth कैसे आएगा? Would you look at tapping new markets? Because मैंने एक नोट में पढ़ा था that you do not look to get into any market where you can't be a number 1 or a number 2. तो आपके लिए कितनी markets open है? Phase 3, Phase 4, a lot of people are confused कि उसमें growth कैसे होगा all of companies such as yours.
अब देखिए हमारा 2/3 market shares in Gujarat is almost not in Gujarat, the overall state. The 2/3 markets is in Phase 3 and Phase 4, जो अब जाके last 31st March 2017 को complete हुआ है. तो yes, आने वाले actual monetization तो आने वाले 18 months में उसका रहेगा. But yes, we are number 1 in Gujarat, we are number 2 in Kolkata, and even though in rest of Maharashtra also we are dominant player. So we enter recently in like Assam, Jharkhand, Bihar, Telangana, AP. So we'll try to make it a position like number 1 or number 2 like we are in Gujarat or Kolkata.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Jadeja, I would like to ask one question to you. If
Yes.
you can highlight to our viewers regarding your new GPON technology that you are going to come up with to increase your broadband speed. So if you can give us some highlights.
See, if you see the right now earlier we are using, it's called ambient technology. It's a micro Ethernet technology. Yes, that is also it's a good technology. But GPON, you can say it's a gigabyte passive optic network. It's a completely passive technology. It's completely end to end. And that OPEX side is very low, and it's a high speed broadband. You can transmit 100 Mbps to up to 1 gig speed you can transmit. So that's a high speed broadband. And yes, as I see, आप देखेंगे आगे जाके जिस तरीके से behavior change हो रहा है broadband का, people want more speed. So that's a.
So there's a note out here which says, just Yatin, if we ask a question, since we're on the topic of GPON, there's a note which says that you as a company envision strong broadband growth as a result of GPON as well. Could you put some numbers out there? What's the increase in growth rates that you see as a result of this adoption?
Number side अब देखिए हमने already broadband side हमारा December तक का number देखेंगे तो we already have around 230K broadband customers, and हमारे cable TV side almost 7.7 million set-top box we already seeded. So जो भी हमारे cable TV के digital customers हम ट्राएंगे हम उसी को आगे जाके broadband में भी leverage करेंगे.
Okay.
Okay, so broadband is a big growth opportunity is what most of the analysts talk about. The funds are also quite excited about the data explosion that we are looking in the country, especially with a lot of telecom companies coming in with 4G services, which is Reliance Jio. But talking about the broadband opportunity, since it's only 10% of the revenues, do you think a sizable amount of growth will come in from broadband moving forward? Will that be the management focus area?
Yes, because abhi tak we were busy in completely transition analog to digital.
Right.
Because we completed phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and our major focus and capex or capital we put in for rollout to digital.
Right.
So now we completed our phase 3, 4, 2. So yes, whatever 7.7 million set-top box we seeded, we'll try to leverage in broadband the same. So we are seeing that's a significant, I can say, अच्छा आगे जाके growth रहेगा broadband side से.
Mr. Pankaj, one question just will rope you in. Your anchor book has been exciting. You have got a lot of funds. I was just reading, so you have got BNP Paribas and a lot of these foreign funds. So that is the exciting plan. In terms of the roadshow response, in terms of the, since you are based out of Ahmedabad, a lot of HNI interest is there. So in terms of feedback, do you think a lot of excitement is there as far as the sector is concerned and the IPO is concerned, since you have received good response from the QIB investors?
Yeah, in the QIP, if you see, we have raised from the 6 investors, and out of that, 5 are big foreign investors, and 1 Indian mutual fund, HDFC mutual fund, which have roped in. So already investors are putting their faith behind the company. And if I talk about the market on which we did the road shows, we met with the brokers, we met with the media and everything. The response is very good, and we are looking forward that this IPO will be a great success for us.
Has it been difficult, because you might be, and Saloni, I'm sure you have a question on that as well, but just one quick question. The sector hasn't really done well. You are profitable, yes, for the 4-5 years, but the sector by and large, the other companies haven't been able to click it. Did that prove a hindrance? Were people circumspect about whether आपकी profitability will continue as you've shown in the past in the future years?
नहीं, profitability तो yes, आप हमारा past record देखेंगे तो
बहुत अच्छा है।
बहुत अच्छा है। But आप sector को भी आप देखिए आगे जाके, because earlier up to 2017 its sector was completely in analog format. So now it's digital is completed. So yes, actual monetization तो आगे जाके जो 18 months और 1.5 साल में होना है. और not only the GTPL side, even though our peers also, because they I can say they listed in analog regimes, and we are doing this is the right time because now we completed our digital. So I think they'll also do a good and going forward.
So just because we are in a phase of GST rollout, like just coming in the next 10 days. So I believe set-top box rates, coaxial wires and even optical fiber wires, the rates have been revised from 28% to 18%. So are we seeing any operating profit margin increase in our books?
No. On GST, yeah, you're right. It has come down from 28% to 18%. We are very happy on that. The second thing is we have to see whether the entertainment tax is getting consumed in the GST or not. That is one of the concern and which we are pushing for. Overall, we will say that for this sector, GST is going to be either neutral or beneficial, but it's
what
not going
happens
to
if
be
it doesn't
negative.
get consumed?
If it is not consumed, also some of the state where the municipal corporation is going to charge for the entertainment tax, but looking at those also on which on some of the states which is there, still it is going to be neutral for us.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Just a couple of other questions that I have. Maybe Yatin has, maybe Saloni has, but a couple of risks that one of the brokerage notes is citing. One of them is saying that the capex for a broadband is yet to be deployed, and that could make it a bit of a sticky situation. You think that there is a problem here?
This is again, I think, in regards with GPON technology,
That's
where
right.
investors are a little unclear about your capex funding plan.
No, see, right now we are raising around 485 crore is the IPO, on which 240 crore is the primary, which is coming into the company. On those 240 crore, we are paying around 230 crore of the loan, 228.75 around, and rest is for the general purposes. So, at current, as Mr. Jadeja said, our net debt is standing at 380 crore, so that will come down.
Okay.
So that will give us the company the leverage to take more debt for the capex. So we look forward that whatever capex is required in the broadband side, we will do it by raising it in the IPO plus through the internal accruals, and we will try to maintain our net debt level at the same level which is right now. It's around 380 to 400 crores.
Okay. Any last question?
No, see, basically the people are concerned that, how will the profits pan out, how will the broadband, phasing be done. But given the fact that significant amount of IPO proceeds are going into debt reduction, probably they have some leeway in working capital, and probably they can use that additional credit line to, fund their capex. And probably since they have digitized a lot of things in phase 3, phase 4, probably that cash flows may also be something which will help them.
Just want to add one thing on the GPON FTTH side, because GPON is gigabit passive optical network, so there is no power required in the network, and that reduces the network operating maintenance cost a lot, and so our operating cost will go down, and this will help us in the EBITDA margins.
And good part is, if you see like cable infrastructure like GTPL and other our peers also, through our LCO partners and our partners, we already have fiber to society colony buildings. So fiber is already up to the curb.
Up to the last mile.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Saloni, one last question.
So one last question. We all know that there's an implementation of new tariff order for all the digital broadband services. So are we seeing any average revenue per unit, that is called as ARPU, any impact on our average revenue?
See, yes, अभी तक नोटिफाइड उस पर स्टे आया हुआ है, नोटिफाइड तो हो चुका है, लेकिन ब्रॉडकास्टर की साइड से स्टे आया हुआ है. बट एज इंडस्ट्री इज सेइंग इट्स गुड फॉर इंडस्ट्री एंड इट्स गुड फॉर DPO.
Okay.
I can't comment on the right now the per unit wise because it's still not implemented. So
Okay.
Just to add, it is very good for the operators. As you see, the pay channel cost has becoming passed through for them.
Correct.
And there is a definite revenue source given for the operators, MSOs, and there is a mechanism to settle between the LCO and MSOs also. So the government, the tariff has given that mechanism also. So overall, we are looking forward that it's going to be positive for operators.
And we hope that turns out to be positive for the operators at large and for you as well. Keep in mind, viewers,
Thank you.
one of the rare companies in that space which has been profitable for the last few years. The management fairly confident that that will continue. A large presence, 2/3 of the presence in markets wherein the monetization has not yet happened. So that's a natural tailwind, and newer technologies which will probably aid them in an alternate revenue stream as well. The markets would be hopeful of this one doing well too. The management fairly confident of good times going ahead. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today, and all the best for the IPO.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.